Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. You are here on the home of the Slightly Above Average Ship Review. I'm your host, KPZ. And today started the new update for the French battleship Flandre. I believe that's what it's called. So I'm going to go up the French tech tree battleship line in this update. So today's Monday, and the first ship in the tech tree in the battleship line is the French Tier 3 battleship Courbet. Courbet's got a very odd turret arrangement. I think it is the only ship that has this type of turret arrangement in the game. 2 turrets forward, 2 turrets to the rear, and then 2 wing turrets. I know that there are other ships like the Bellerophon with wing turrets. Maybe the Nassau has wing turrets, but I don't know if anyone else. I can't remember the Nassau's gun arrangement, but I don't believe it is the same as this. Either way, it's an odd turret arrangement, but it gives you the ability. You can see here, you can get your first 2 turrets and one of the wing turrets on target, and so it's great. This is a great angle to attack other ships at. And so that's really the benefit of this type of layout. I have no idea if that's how they envisioned it when they were designing it. But in this game, when angling is also important, the ability to get 3 main batteries, 6 gun barrels on target, at a minimal risk to yourself from the ship you're shooting at, if it's in your forward arc here, is really quite nice. French battleships, if I was going to characterize them as a whole, they're not fast. Their armor isn't especially great, especially the turret armor. They generally have pretty good guns, or at least a lot of guns. Some of them hit really hard. And they have good secondaries. I wouldn't say they're up there with Germany or Italy, but probably right under that. So don't be surprised if you get a game with a lot of secondary battery hits. Some of the ships have good AA, some don't. Whether that is a massaging of the stats by wargaming or not, who knows? This ship does not have good AA. And as you can see, you're going to need all your damage cons because we are already on fire. We are using the survivability commander, if you didn't know. I believe that's kind of the best way to go with this ship and the low tier battleships. Tier 5 and Tier 6, I do use Jajard. Premium ships are totally different. We will get into that during the course of this update. I plan on bringing you all the premium French battleships in games. I already have a couple of them in the can. Still got to get some more games cranked out, and I'll explain why I chose each commander in each game. All right, so we've got... is that a cruiser over here? If I could only see. There's a ship over here, and we are trying to kill it. And we do. Look at that. Hit the Citadel, first blood, kill number 1. This destroyer, I believe that is a Wakataki, is closing in here, trying to mess with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a product tie-in on purpose, but as we dodge the Wakataki's torpedoes, I am going to bring a primer for new players on how to play destroyers. So if you are not an experienced player or you're new to World of Warships, I'm sure you will enjoy that, just not if you're the pilot of that destroyer. And that's a Dev Strike, kill number 2. Alright, trying to get turned back around, get our turrets turned back around. One other thing about French battleships, slow turret traverse, quick reload. At least the way I build them. I am using the turret traverse mod on this. Now you can see we did a ton of damage here. This is going to be one I regret missing out on very much, as you will see at the end of the match. Hoping my secondaries can do him in, turning, trying to get those rear turrets on target. And I think he flooded out from the aircraft carrier. Well, that wasn't too great for us. Anyway, Kaiser. Now, I was filming another video and I said, man, it just seems to me that the German battleships give me a really hard time in these French battleships. I think it's because their armor arrangement. I really can't ever think that I have citadeled one in a French ship, at least at these low tiers, or hit them really hard. I don't think the shell grouping is that great on these ships. I really don't. On the French ships, at least at lower tiers. It just seems that whenever I'm firing full salvos or close to full salvos, I'm just really disappointed at the outcome. All right, here I think he eats a torpedo. This is as good as you're going to get right here, right above the waterline. And again, just leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know if we're missing that half of the shells or they're just not doing any damage to the armor scheme. We will turn here, cranking the rudder as hard as we can, try to get these guns lined back up, try to take this guy out before he does too much more damage. There's a pretty good hit. We already unlocked the high caliber. Last two turrets. Can we finish them off at all? Please? I think we're going to burn them down. And there we go. All right. We did burn him down. Kill number 3. Okay. So a Bogatyr, tier 2, if I'm remembering correctly, Russian cruiser. We hit him really hard right off the jump. Already back in secondary battery range. Lock on our secondaries. Activate our enhanced secondary consumable. Like I said, you got pretty good secondaries. They just have a really long reload for a majority of the guns. I do not recommend a secondary build for that reason. Continuing to damage the Bogatyr there. Pretty good hits. We're going to turn that fire off and just wait for our reload. As you can see, I think a secondary hit took out one of his turrets there, which is really kind of amazing. They do a lot of damage. And we set them on fire, and we're going to get this last salvo off. Kill number 4. All right, unfortunately for me, the only ship left is the aircraft carrier on the far side of the match. So that one kill we missed out earlier, technically this is not a Kraken fail, but I think you can easily see this could have been a Kraken level game here in the Courbet. And we got a Dreadnought medal out of it too. All right, here we are on my favorite screen, the victory screen. High caliber medal, devastating strike medal, first blood medal, Dreadnought medal, 90,691 total damage, 4 big kills, 134,049 silver, 2538 ship XP and commander XP. Yes, I know those numbers aren't stunning, but we're fighting tier 2 and tier 3 ships. So I think considering all things, that's not too bad. There we are at the top of the board. I believe that's a 1629 with those 4 big kills and the only 4 medals handed out in the match. I'll take it here in the Courbet. All right, let's go back into the port, take a look at the ship. In terms of the upgrades, that main battery mod 3, because your turret traverse is glacially slow and the ship is fully upgraded. In terms of the loadout, 4 charges of the repair party and 3 charges of that enhanced secondary targeting consumable. We didn't run any booster flags. Got this type 2 temporary camo and the 2-year strong flag. Stats, I think this is 38,950 hit points with a 10% torpedo damage reduction. Main battery, the 6 twin 305mm turrets, 12.7 kilometer firing range, reload in 22.9 seconds, turn in 37.6 seconds. HE shells do 4,200 damage with a 32% fire chance. I'm really guessing at these numbers. And AP shells, 8,300 damage. You do have a lot of secondaries, 22 139mm guns. Just a 3.5 kilometer range, reload in 10 seconds, but they do 2,000 HE shell damage with an 8% fire chance. AA defense, this is one of the ships with almost no AA, And so you want to avoid planes if you can. 21.9 knots, 580 meter turning circle, 12.3 second rudder shift time. And concealment, I think that's 12.8 on the surface, 10.2 from the air, 9.7 when firing in smoke. Take a look at the armor viewer. This does not inspire a lot of confidence, although it reminds me a lot of Italian battleships. Got a really wacky looking citadel underneath the water there. Don't know how to explain that. We'll put our turrets back on. The turrets have very heavily armored rear of the turret. But as you can see, even though the barbette and the side arm of the turrets is pretty nice, the roof of the turret, that's where you're going to get these turrets knocked out from the air. So please keep that in mind. Put that bow back on. You do have an armor plate running up to the front of the bow. Above that, it is a 19 millimeter bow. You can do a little bit of bow tanking. There is no torpedo belt. So as we add this other armor back in, you want to avoid showing your broadside. My understanding is that some of this armor acts as spaced armor. Again, you would have to be an armor expert, and clearly I am not. All right, here's our commander, Emil Giprat. I use him on these lower tier ships because I found it was getting a lot of overpens, and you need the survivability. So at tier 3, I recommend Giprat with D. Ravel and Madden. We run Brawler to reduce our reload, Crisscross to help the turret traverse, Megalomania, that's a unique French skill, really like that, Master Mechanic, and of course, Will to Rebuild. Anyway, that's a look at the tier 3 battleship, the Courbet. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. 144 subscribers and counting. You can always subscribe for more.